How do I find balance in my life? That tends to be the question that we all end up asking ourselves. We ask this question because our life problems often stem from something chaotic, and so we tend to come to the conclusion that it's because our life isn't balanced. And while there is truth in this, I also believe that's not the way to go about it. Not entirely, at least. It feels like we spend our whole lives trying to find balance. I mean, well, of course. Why wouldn't we? Balance is key after all, right? We hear this phrase that balance is key. It's thrown around in every scenario when asking anyone for advice on anything in life. And yes, while it might not be those exact three words, it is always expressed in some similar way. Whether it's your parents telling you not to play video games for too long when you were younger, or your friend telling you not to take your relationship so far that it becomes your only focus in life. Point being, we are all understanding that anything done in excess is bad, whether the initial action was positive or negative. However, a lot of us tend to turn a blind eye to this, or have not really taken the time to internalize this concept enough. And as a result, we forget that just because something we have or do is granting us positive outcomes, it does not mean having more of it will yield the same. This is especially apparent when we are young or new to something, as when this is the case, we have not had enough time to truly find our balance. And so, when we discover this new thing that brings us joy or some sense of purpose, we unknowingly rinse it dry until either it no longer produces the same results, we lose that motivation and stop, or we develop an unhealthy habit or addiction to doing whatever it is in excess, which often affects other aspects of our life in return. An example of this can be seen quite often in people just beginning some form of action of self-improvement. Take starting the gym as an example. Most people jump way too far in without first finding their footing. They'll do 3-hour workouts, 6 days a week, clean meals every meal, creatine every day. And while this sounds good on paper, it ultimately leads to a negative outcome in the form of overtraining or overworking ourselves without having first built enough discipline to accompany the workload. What we fail to understand is that balance is different for everyone. For some, going gym 3 days a week is perfect. For others, it may be 6. Some of us need to spend all day texting their significant other, and some only need a date every month or so with them. Just because someone else has their life set out in a different way, it does not mean by you adopting the same lifestyle, you will result in the same outcomes. Our ideal balance is dependent on many factors: our personality, our life situations, our values and morals. And so, just like those, the way we should balance our lives is ever changing as we grow older and mature. So, instead of worrying about having a perfectly balanced life, first understand what and how much you can commit to doing in your life in each regard or aspect. Because going gym 5 days a week, eating one cheat meal a week, revising 10 hours a week, and going on a run every other day may be a perfectly balanced life, or sound that way, But if you do not have the mental fortitude or time priority to implement such a lifestyle and maintain it long term, then that balanced lifestyle would be pointless. Because balance without stability is no balance at all. You could be the best tightrope walker in the world with amazing balance, but if the beams which hold the ends of the rope taut are not stable, you are bound to fall. The most important thing to remember is that we shouldn't stress about having perfect balance. Perfect balance will not bring us peace and remove all the problems from our lives. So don't stress about having everything perfect, because you may never have it perfect, and most people won't. And so, instead of chasing that socially ideal balanced life, just ensure that you're taking one step at a time carefully across the tightrope that we call life.